The morning sun pressed against the grass, warming the earth until the dew began to lift in thin, swirling ribbons of steam. William stood in the center of the yard, hands resting on his hips, watching the light stretch across the fence. Beside him, Chewy tilted his head toward the rustling trees, while Bubbles hovered just above the flower bed, wings humming a steady, low rhythm. Then, the silence broke. William looked up, his eyes narrowing against the glare of the sun. High above the treetops, an arc stretched across the sky, but it held no color. It was a pale, hollow ghost of an arch, trembling as if it might shatter under its own weight. A sound drifted down, not a voice, but a faint rhythmic vibration that felt like a plea for help. The rainbow shuddered, its edges fraying into gray mist. "My colors have drifted away," the sound echoed, thin and brittle. William stepped forward, his boots crunching on the gravel. He looked at Chewy and Bubbles, his expression sharpening into a look of resolve. He pointed toward the sky, signaling the need for action. The mission was clear. They had to find the lost light before the arch vanished entirely. William reached into his bag, and with a soft chime, 3 glass jars appeared in his palms. He handed one to Bubbles, who gripped the rim with tiny claws, and kept 2 for himself. They moved toward the dense thicket at the edge of the yard, where a faint, stuttering red glow flickered behind the leaves. Chewy took the lead, nose twitching as he pressed his face deep into the foliage, inhaling the scent of damp earth and greenery. The tension held for a long second, then Chewy's nose gave a violent, uncontrollable twitch. A loud, sharp sneeze erupted from him, shaking the branches with enough force to send a shower of leaves to the ground. A single red apple tumbled out, rolling across the dirt while vibrating with intense energy. William lunged, his fingers hovering just inches from the fruit, and tapped the glowing shimmer radiating from the skin. It detached instantly, swirling into a concentrated pulse of light. He guided it into the open jar, snapping the lid shut. Above them, the sky reacted. A vibrant red stripe surged across the pale arch, locking into place with a hum of triumph. Hope flared as the color held, steady and bright against the morning blue. With the red stripe pulsing steadily above, the trio crossed into the open meadow. The grass swayed, parting to reveal a single yellow daisy standing tall, its petals glowing with a brilliance that mimicked the morning sun. A soft chime echoed across the field, signaling the next fragment of light. The yellow sparkle did not sit still. It bounced with a rhythmic, percussive energy, darting between the petals and the damp stems. William stopped, watching the light arc through the air, while Chewy sat back on his haunches, ears pricked to the hum. Bubbles hovered, her wings beating in perfect synchronization with the light's erratic pulse. She darted forward, nudging the sparkle with a precise tap. The light hesitated, then spiraled upward into the second jar William held open. He sealed it quickly, and the glass glowed with a warm, golden hue. High above, the sky hummed as the yellow stripe unfurled, snapping into position alongside the red. The rainbow burned brighter now, casting a cheerful glow over the meadow. The success felt tangible, a shared spark of confidence that pushed them toward the next stretch of their journey. They stood for a moment, listening to the chime resonate in the air, before moving toward the distant shimmer of the pond. The path led them to the pond, where the water sat perfectly still, reflecting the sky above. Near the edge, a blue bucket rested in the reeds, but William ignored it, his attention fixed on the center of the surface. A blue sparkle darted across the water, its movement creating tiny, rhythmic ripples that distorted the reflection of the clouds. Every time William reached out, the light skittered away, dancing just beyond his fingertips. He slowed his movements, mirroring the stillness of the water until the light paused, hovering briefly over a lily pad. He lowered his hand, palm open, and gently scooped the light from the surface, feeling a cool sensation against his skin. He moved his hand toward the glass jar, tilting it until the blue pulse slid inside. The water settled instantly into a mirror-like glass. He sealed the lid and the jar emitted a soft, calming hum. Above, the sky responded as a deep blue stripe stretched across the rainbow, filling the gap with a serene, steady light. The atmosphere shifted, the air cooling and growing quiet, as if the pond itself had exhaled. They turned away from the bank, the weight of the task feeling lighter with every step they took toward the distant trees. The forest edge loomed ahead, marked by tangled roots and thick, low-hanging branches. The trio moved cautiously, scanning the dirt for any sign of the missing green light. Suddenly, a single broad leaf near the ground began to wiggle, vibrating against the soil. Chewie lowered his head, sniffing the area with intense focus, his nose twitching rhythmically as he drew in the scent of damp earth and crushed stems. Without warning, a bright green sparkle darted from behind the leaf, zipping upward to brush directly against the tip of his nose. Chewie gasped, his eyes widening, and he unleashed a massive, thunderous sneeze that echoed through the trees. The force of the gust sent the leaf tumbling into the air, spinning wildly. As the leaf flipped, the green light broke free, hovering in the wake of the disturbance. William lunged forward, his final empty jar held high. He swept the glass through the air, trapping the vibrating light before it could dart back into the shadows. He clicked the lid shut, and the jar pulsed with a vibrant emerald intensity. Above the trees, the sky shimmered as a new green stripe unfurled, locking into place with a crisp, resonant snap. The rainbow was now nearly complete, glowing with a renewed, layered brilliance that turned the forest canopy into a mosaic of shifting light. The trio emerged from the forest, the transition marked by the sudden openness of the meadow and the smell of ripening fruit. The air felt charged, vibrating with the energy of the four stripes already anchored in the sky. Yet, as they scanned the horizon, a subtle dissonance remained. The rainbow hung overhead, brilliant and wide, but the gap at the end looked like a jagged wound against the blue sky. William led the way, his boots pressing into the soft earth, while Bubbles circled low, scanning the ground with sharp, darting movements. Chewie trotted ahead, his ears perked, checking every cluster of flora for the final spark. They reached a dense thicket of berry bushes, the branches heavy with dark, clustered fruit. The leaves brushed against them with a dry, rustling sound. William paused, holding the final, empty jar in his hand. He tilted his head, watching the way the light played across the leaves, looking for a shimmer that was not there. The silence in the thicket grew heavy. Every rustle of a branch felt like a potential discovery, yet the bush remained still. The incompleteness of the rainbow seemed to pull at them, a magnetic absence that demanded resolution. They circled the thicket once, twice, waiting for the flicker that would signal the end of their search. A soft, rhythmic pulsing caught William's eye deep within the center of the berry bush. It was not the sharp flicker of the red or the dancing energy of the blue, but a slow, heavy rhythm that seemed to drag against the air. He leaned in, peering through the dense foliage. There, hovering just above a cluster of overripe berries, hung the purple light. It moved with a visible lethargy, drifting sideways, then looping back, as if struggling to keep its own glow ignited. It let out a tiny, nearly silent yawn of luminescence that faded into the shadows before brightening again. William held his breath. He knew that any sudden motion, any gust of wind, would cause the fragile light to dissipate entirely. He signaled for Chewie and Bubbles to stay back. The pair went rigid, watching with locked gazes as William slowly raised his hands. He did not reach for the jar yet. He moved his fingers like he was weaving through water, inching closer to the drowsy sparkle. The light drifted, dipping low toward a thorny branch, teetering on the edge of extinction. William shifted his weight. His boots barely grazing the dirt, he cupped his palms, creating a hollow, protective space around the light. The sparkle drifted into his grip, sluggish and warm, finally coming to rest within his hands. William lowered his cupped palms to the mouth of the final jar. The purple light pulsed once, twice, then slid into the glass with a soft, resonant hum. He sealed the lid. Instantly, The jar grew warm against his skin. He held it high, pointing the glass toward the jagged gap in the sky. The light shot upward, a thin, vibrant streak of violet that pierced the air like a needle. It hit the rainbow. The sky groaned with a sound of rushing wind. The final purple stripe locked into place, snapping with the force of a thunderclap. The entire arc surged. It flared, turning from pale transparency to a blinding, saturated spectrum of impossible colors. A shockwave of brilliance rolled out from the center, washing over the yard in a sudden golden heat. Then, the sky began to rain. Not water, but tiny glowing fragments of light that drifted down like heavy confetti. They hit the grass, the leaves, and the shoulders of the trio, each spark popping with a chime upon impact. The yard transformed, lit from every angle by the shimmering debris. William dropped his arms, his hands empty, watching as the world saturated into full, vivid life under the finished, glowing arch above. William stood at the center of the shimmering yard, his pulse quickening with the beat of the falling light. He took a sharp step forward, his feet finding the rhythm of the red glow. He pivoted, arms wide, and spun into the yellow light, his boots scuffing the grass in a rhythmic slide. Bubbles caught the motion, diving through the air in a tight, swirling loop that mimicked the dance. William moved again, shifting his weight with a sharp wiggle as he reached the blue zone, his body snapping to the chime of the falling sparks. Chewie responded, barking in precise percussive bursts that matched the tempo of the air. William hopped toward the green zone, lifting his knees high as the ground beneath him seemed to hum with energy. He twirled through the final purple shower, his hands tracing arcs in the air to catch the fading momentum. The yard was a blur of motion. William stepped, spun, wiggled, and hopped, his movements growing faster with each passing second. Bubbles tightened his orbit, wings blurring against the sky, while Chewie danced on his hind legs, his barks rhythmic and loud. The trio moved as one, a living connection to the light above, their feet pounding the earth in a celebration that shook the very air around them. The final chime echoed across the yard and faded into the rustle of the trees. William slowed his pace, his heels digging into the turf until he came to a complete stop. His breath hitched, then smoothed into a steady rhythm. Chewie let out a long, contented sigh, his tail brushing against the grass, and settled onto his haunches. Bubbles descended from the air, his wings folding neatly against his sides as he landed on William's shoulder. The yard had stopped shimmering. Instead, it glowed with a deep, permanent saturation. The green of the grass was richer, the shadows beneath the bushes held a soft, golden depth, and the air felt heavy and cool. Above them, the rainbow remained, a solid, unwavering bridge of color that anchored the sky to the horizon. There was no more movement, no more urgency. The silence that followed was heavy with the weight of the work they had finished. William looked left at Chewie, then up at Bubbles, his hand resting lightly on the dog's neck. They stood together, three figures framed by the arch of light, watching as the last of the day's warmth settled over the land. The world was whole, the colors were home, and the air held the quiet, steady hum of a task perfectly fulfilled.